There are performances so powerful. They stop feeling like acting. They feel real, raw, disturbing, almost dangerous. And in 2008, when audiences watched Heath Ledger become the Joker in The Dark Knight, many people felt something deeply unsettling immediately. Because this did not look like a normal movie villain. The laughter sounded broken. The eyes looked exhausted. The movements felt psychologically unstable. Every scene carried the energy of someone emotionally unraveling in real time. And perhaps what terrified people most was how believable it felt. The performance became legendary almost instantly. Some called it the greatest acting performance of a generation. Others called it disturbing, obsessive, haunting. But then, something happened that transformed the performance into mythology forever. Before the movie even released publicly, Heath Ledger died. Suddenly, the world was no longer simply watching a brilliant actor play darkness. People began wondering whether the darkness had consumed him personally too. The rumors exploded everywhere. Did the Joker role destroy Heath Ledger psychologically? Did method acting push him too far? Did fame isolate him? Was he secretly falling apart? And perhaps the most painful part of all was realizing that behind the headlines, behind the Oscar-winning performance, behind the celebrity success, behind one of the most iconic movie roles in history, there was another story, a deeply human one. Because while millions of people remember Heath Ledger as the actor who became the Joker, few people truly understood the emotional pressure he had been carrying internally for years. The loneliness, the insomnia, the perfectionism, the emotional isolation, the fear of failure, the exhaustion, the pressure of becoming extraordinary in an industry that constantly consumes people psychologically. And perhaps the darkest reality of all is this: sometimes, the people capable of portraying pain most convincingly are already fighting private pain themselves. This is the dark pressure behind Heath Ledger. Before Hollywood, before the Joker, before global fame transformed him into legend, there was Australia. Heath Ledger grew up in Perth, far removed from the chaos of celebrity culture that would later surround his life completely. From an early age, people noticed something emotionally unusual about him: sensitivity, creativity, intensity. Heath reportedly possessed strong imagination and emotional depth even as a child. But psychologically, emotionally sensitive children often experience the world differently. More deeply, more personally, more intensely. And sometimes, that emotional intensity later becomes both gift and burden simultaneously. Then came acting, and almost immediately, people recognized Heath Ledger possessed extraordinary screen presence. Not simply talent, presence. The camera seemed emotionally drawn toward him naturally. But unlike many young celebrities obsessed with fame, Heath reportedly cared deeply about artistic respect. He wanted to be taken seriously. And psychologically, that distinction matters. Because actors emotionally driven by artistic validation often place brutal pressure on themselves internally. Success stops meaning popularity. It begins meaning worth. Then came Hollywood. And suddenly, everything accelerated. Movies, attention, magazine covers, interviews, global recognition. Heath Ledger quickly became one of the most recognizable young actors in the world. But psychologically, fame changes emotionally sensitive people differently than audiences often realize. Because public attention can slowly erase emotional privacy entirely. And over time, many actors begin feeling trapped between who they truly are privately and who the world expects them to be publicly. Then came Brokeback Mountain. And perhaps this became one of the most emotionally important moments of Heath Ledger's career. Because suddenly, the world no longer simply saw him as a handsome Hollywood actor. People began recognizing genuine artistic depth. The performance received enormous critical praise. Emotionally vulnerable, subtle, painfully human. And perhaps that role revealed something important about Heath psychologically. Because many people close to him later described someone deeply committed emotionally to his performances. Not superficial acting. Immersion. Total immersion. And psychologically, that level of emotional investment can become dangerous over time. Especially for perfectionists. Especially for emotionally intense people already struggling privately. Then came fame at another level entirely. Relationships. Media obsession. Public attention. His relationship with Michelle Williams became one of Hollywood's most admired couples. And when their daughter Matilda was born, many people close to Heath described him as emotionally transformed by fatherhood. Softer, warmer, more emotionally grounded. But internally, the pressure reportedly never disappeared. Because even while building success publicly, Heath Ledger was privately battling something growing increasingly destructive. Insomnia. And psychologically, chronic insomnia changes people profoundly. Exhaustion, anxiety, emotional instability, mental fog, isolation. People who stop sleeping properly often begin feeling psychologically disconnected from themselves over time. And according to people close to him, Heath reportedly struggled with sleep for long periods. Then came the Dark Knight. And perhaps no role would define Heath Ledger's legacy more completely than the Joker. But psychologically, the role carried disturbing emotional intensity. The Joker was not simply evil. He was chaos personified. Madness, isolation, psychological destruction. To prepare for the role, Heath reportedly isolated himself for weeks inside hotel rooms, writing disturbing thoughts, experimenting with voices, studying psychological behavior, building the Joker mentally piece by piece. And eventually, the line between performance and emotional immersion reportedly became deeply blurred. Now, many stories surrounding the role later became exaggerated publicly. Some people turned Heath Ledger into myth. As if the Joker literally destroyed him psychologically. Reality is likely more complicated than that. But one thing remained true. People close to Heath described him as exhausted. Emotionally exhausted. The pressure surrounding The Dark Knight became enormous. Because Heath Ledger reportedly wanted perfection. Every scene mattered intensely to him emotionally. Every movement, every laugh, every expression. And perhaps what made the Joker performance feel so terrifyingly real was that Heath seemed emotionally fearless while creating it. The role looked uncontrolled, chaotic. But behind that brilliance, many people later believed enormous psychological pressure existed privately. Then came isolation. As fame intensified, Heath Ledger reportedly became increasingly withdrawn emotionally at times. Not because he hated people, but because constant attention psychologically exhausts many deeply sensitive individuals. Especially artists. Especially perfectionists. Especially people already struggling internally. Then came emotional collapse. Sleep problems worsened, stress intensified, exhaustion deepened. And perhaps the most tragic reality of all was that many people around Heath reportedly knew he was struggling. But struggling people often become skilled at appearing functional publicly. Especially actors. Especially performers. Especially people used to hiding emotion professionally. Then came January 22, 2008. Heath Ledger was found dead inside his New York apartment at age 28. The news shocked the world instantly. Because psychologically, people struggle profoundly when youth, talent, beauty, and death collide unexpectedly. The investigation later concluded Heath Ledger died from accidental overdose involving prescription medications, sleeping pills, painkillers, anti-anxiety medication. And suddenly, the mythology surrounding the Joker exploded globally. People connected the role directly to his death. Rumors spread endlessly. The internet became obsessed with the idea that Heath Ledger had lost himself, becoming the Joker. But perhaps the truth is far sadder and far more human. Because Heath Ledger was not simply an actor consumed by one movie role. He was a deeply sensitive human being privately battling exhaustion, insomnia, pressure, fame, emotional intensity, and psychological overload. And sometimes, human beings reach breaking points quietly, not dramatically, quietly. Then came the Dark Knight release, and the emotional reaction became overwhelming. Audiences watched Heath Ledger's Joker knowing he was already gone. And suddenly, every scene felt haunted emotionally. The performance no longer looked simply brilliant. It looked tragic, painfully tragic. Then came the Oscar. Heath Ledger posthumously won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. And perhaps that moment captured the emotional contradiction of his story perfectly. The world celebrated his greatness after it was already too late for him to experience it himself. Today, Heath Ledger remains one of the most unforgettable actors in modern film history. His Joker performance became legendary. His emotional depth changed cinema permanently. His talent continues inspiring actors globally. But behind the success story, there is also a darker human story. A sensitive young man searching for artistic meaning, a perfectionist emotionally consumed by performance, a father trying to balance fame and humanity, an actor privately battling insomnia, exhaustion, and emotional pressure, and a human being carrying invisible struggles while the world only saw talent. Because sometimes, the people capable of portraying darkness most convincingly are already fighting darkness internally. And sometimes, the pressure of becoming extraordinary slowly costs a person their peace. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to Dark Human Stories for more psychological celebrity documentaries, emotional fame stories, hidden struggles behind greatness, and powerful untold human stories. And remember, not every tragic story looks broken from the outside.